Hi, I'm Paul O'Sullivan in Blessington, County Wicklow in Ireland. I just wanted to share a little bit about loving compassion, practicing that. And also, I'd mentioned in a previous video in the part about being an empath, about sending energy back to people and obviously taking your own energy back. And I wanted to just elaborate a little bit on that as well. So I just want to tell you the importance of only sending out good stuff. So when we're born, we're spiritual beings coming through, expressing ourselves in this vehicle, if you like. This body is our vehicle for the soul to express itself in this life. And we're pure love when we're born. And we learn other stuff that's not pure love from the people around us. So sometimes when something happens, we start sending out stuff that's like anger or resentment or wishing another person harm or something like that. If someone's done something on us or things haven't quite gone our way. So I wanted to just explain to you a little bit about what happens in your body. I know we have the concept of karma as well, that most of us are familiar with. And that is that, if you do something to somebody, it's like the law of cause and effect, and it'll come back to you. And sometimes we do get to experience something similar back in this lifetime, and sometimes it'll wait for another lifetime to show up. And perhaps our lifetime now is a result of karma that we've accumulated in other lifetimes. That's quite possible too. But there's an immediate thing that happens to you when you send out anything that's not love to another person as well, that most of us actually don't know about. And I think this is kind of important and should be shared. So if you look into the concept of psychoneuroimmunology, which is a big word there, or Bruce Lipton's work, The Biology of Belief, have a look at some of his research and stuff like that he's done. And they've actually shown scientifically that, our thoughts are sending out frequencies, and our heart is actually sending out an electromagnetic field around us as well, So people are kind of meeting and experiencing that on that level before they've even spoken to us or met us, But it's really important, if you know what you're doing, that you don't send out any harm. What happens in the body? The body is highly intelligent and it wants to keep us well at all costs. So the cells are usually open. They're open to stimuli, different proteins and everything being released, and that keeps everything functioning properly and keeps your immune system, working for you. But when the body perceives a threat of any kind, anything that's not natural to itself, so anything that's not love is not natural in a way, if you want to look at it that way from an emotional point of view, physiologically the body starts reacting that there's a threat after coming in there. So if you're harboring anger or resentment or vindictiveness or malice or anything like that, trying to get back at somebody, or hate, anything like that, or if you're harboring grief and not expressing it, if you're repressing any of these emotions as well, they can actually harm you. And most of us don't realize this. So what they're doing is actually shutting off the cells in your body from working properly. So the cells go into a place of protection. So they're not ingrowth, they're not open to stimuli. So systems are protected so it doesn't get any worse for it. And what happens then is your immune system gets suppressed. So if you're sending out hate or anger or malice or anything like that to anybody, you're actually harming yourself at the same time. So forget about karma for a moment. This is an immediate thing that your body is doing. So you're actually long-term messing up your own health as well. So I just wanted to tell you about that. I can elaborate on that another time if you'd like, The other thing I wanted to share, because I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible. I know people get bored watching long videos nowadays. We're not used to that, The other thing was practicing loving kindness. It's just so important for us to actually have that sense of peace in ourselves. And most people are not aware of this. It's really important that you learn to practice love and compassion and kindness on yourself first before you try and send it out to anybody else. Because like I mentioned, if you're hating yourself or, criticizing yourself, which most of us do, and I did for a long, long time, for about 44 years of my life. I mean, it's only in the 8 to 9 years now that I'm actually not doing that. And my health has improved dramatically over those years. But prior to that, I didn't like myself, I found it very hard to actually be loving and compassionate and kind to other people if I wasn't being loving and compassionate and kind to myself. You're not being real, So practice this on yourself, and you can practice it on sending it to others as well. So I'd like to just share just briefly, as I say, because I'm trying to keep this video short, just how do you practice being love and compassionate and kind, So it's, again, find that sacred space, that space where you won't be disturbed. I use my bedroom for most of this, and I just lie down and I'll meditate that way with maybe just two pillows or something. But I know some people like to be in the straight back chair and all the rest. But just find that space for yourself where you can be comfortable with yourself. And close your eyes and breathe in very, very slowly and deeply into your belly if you can, and breathing it back out again. You can imagine, I mentioned this before, you can imagine breathing as if it's coming from the tips of your fingers all the way up your arms to your head and your chest and into your belly on the in-breath. And then when you're breathing out, imagining that the breath is traveling out and down your legs, out through your feet and toes on the out-breath. And just bringing yourself into that nice quiet space through your breathing. And then just imagining love. And this was something I found extremely difficult. I've never really experienced love as such. Unconditional love, that is. We've all experienced maybe love. We're in a world that has conditional love. People love you when you're doing what they want you to do, and they don't love you so much when you don't. That's not the kind of love I'm talking about, and that's the kind of love most of us are familiar with. But there's another concept of love, which is unconditional love, and it's loving regardless. You've absolutely nothing to lose. So whether you like someone, you don't like them, you're sending them unconditional love. And the same with yourself. Whether you feel you're perfect or you're not perfect, or you can see all your faults or not, you're just loving yourself. This soul in this vehicle, you're just loving that soul in the vehicle. And the same when you're looking at other people, you're just looking at the soul in the vehicle. They're expressing themselves in this form. There's a divinity within all of us, a sacredness, and you're looking for that, you know. The only time I actually experienced the unconditional love was actually through meditation, and I was connected with my angels, and I connected with Archangel Michael. And the angels have an amazing energy of unconditional love. And I actually managed to feel that unconditional love through one of those meditations. So that's the kind of love I carry with me now, if I'm actually trying to send it to myself or to send it to anybody else. It's a kind of love that's not trying to get anything. It's not a grasping or an attachment. It's just a love for the sake of love. And that's what I use at the moment. So I tap into that sense of love and I send it to myself. I just see myself from head to toe just being loved, accepting myself fully for who I am, with all my faults and all my imperfections that I perceive. And I'm just sending that to myself, into my heart center. And then I see rays of light coming from my heart center then. And I'm sending that love out to everybody. Absolutely everybody. People I don't get on with maybe. People who are taking me up wrong and misunderstanding me. People are falling out with me. People I've had conflicts with. People I need to forgive in the past. All that kind of thing. Because if you're looking at it from this position of love and kindness and compassion, you're actually seeing that we're all souls in various levels of awareness, if you like. None of us really know what we're doing. We're all at just different stages of awareness. I even think I'm aware now, but I know when I look back, and sometimes I'm not so aware, I look back and I say, okay, I thought I was more aware than that. But each person you meet, each situation is testing your awareness, you know, and you can do better. We always can do better, you know, so we're never right there at this enlightened state kind of thing. We're all a work in progress, you know, so I think we can be kind. People who've done things that need to be forgiven, they weren't fully aware. If they knew what they were doing, if they really knew what they were doing, and I know it looks like people know what they're doing, but they don't really, on an awareness level, on a soul awareness level, they don't always know. When they meet the personality here in this lifetime, in this body, they don't really know what they're doing. You know, it's only on hindsight that we'll say, oh yeah, I could have been a bit more aware there, you know. So if you look at everybody, you know, send the love out to everybody anyway. And I've probably mentioned this in a previous video as well. When we do that, when we send that pure love, that's not grasping, it's not attachment, it's not looking for anything in return, and it's not a kind of love that has anything to lose by sending it. That kind of love, when we're sending that out to people, to everybody, we're helping raise their consciousness as well. So this is quite a powerful practice. It's not an easy one. People are difficult, relationships are difficult, you know. And people don't always get us, you know, people misunderstand us, and it's hard, you know, or they fall out with us and it's hard, or they do things that we, you know, perceive that has hurt us. They haven't met our expectations, you know. This kind of work is not easy work, you know, but it's what it'll give you, because we're all into payback. We don't like being like that, but everything we do has some kind of a payback. If you want a payback out of this, it's going to give you peace. It's going to give you a sense of peace in yourself. and a sense of oneness and a sense of understanding of people. So well worth the practice. I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to make any more videos, or if you have any comments or you want to share, please feel free to do so. Thanks again.